Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I am back on YouTube for the first time in around 8 months. I've had a lot of exams and a lot of things going on in my real life, which meant I couldn't really upload regularly, if at all. I'm going to be changing up my content slightly. I'm going to be making more Hearts of Iron 4 videos, some more Paradox-style strategic game videos, but I'm also going to be sticking to my old Warband videos as well as these regular Bannerlord updates whenever I find anything out new. But I will be doing each and every blog that I find interesting. I probably won't do every blog because some of them are just really bad, honestly. It's good to see Bannerlord has not been released over the past few months because otherwise I wouldn't be able to make videos on it, but I don't think there was any worry of that. Anyway, one last thing, at the end of the video I will place a clip of my Hearts of Iron 4 content so you can get a feel of what it will be like, and then you can kind of tell me what you think in the comments down below. I would like to say thank you so much for sticking around if you're watching this video. It means a lot to me. I hope we can regrow and get back into the sort of level of content that I was uploading previously, with some different content, maybe switching and freshening the channel up a bit. So anyway guys, let's get straight into this blog. So today's blog opens with, quote, Mountain Blade gameplay is centered around battles and is of critical importance for the player to understand how things are progressing, whether you are engaging a few bandits in a skirmish or taking part in an epic battle. You want to know how various troops perform and which enemies present the most danger. To address this and to give the player a detailed account of the battle, we have added a battle report overlay. In this week's blog, we take a look at this feature and try to explain how it works. Now, we know in Warband, I'm sure they'll say this later on, that the kind of end battle report told you who killed who and how many people died, but it wasn't that interesting. There wasn't really a lot there that we could take from the battle, and you can kind of just scroll through that, and that's pretty much it. It's not very interactive. All you can do is press continue. Hopefully, we're going to see a few more tabs, a few more more detailed information on what actually happened in the battle, so you can change up your army and maybe get rid of a certain unit that's not performing very well. During a battle, it can be hard to actually analyze this and see who's doing well because you're doing all the ordering, you're fighting yourself. So these stats at the end of the battle can definitely help you to kind of decide which units to get rid of and which ones to keep. So the next section reads, quote, the new battle report overlay is the main source for all of this information. It comes up anytime during the battle with the tab key, so you can review the progress and the casualties both sides have sustained. Once the battle has ended and one side has lost, the same overlay stays on screen and functions as an after battle report, and you can review the glory details at your leisure. Okay, so that's pretty good. So during the battle, you can hold tab and you can look at who's doing well, like you would in any regular multiplayer game where you hold tab and you can see which players are killing the most people and which players are dying the most, etc. So the screenshot on screen shows the menu that actually is opened when you hold tab. Now, you can see here that there are lots of different options. So the primary thing it shows is a detailed breakdown of every party which is involved in the battle, including an overview of the troop composition of each party. So you can see here in the right hand side of the, I think it's the Battanian faction, we can see that the Battanian clansmen, of 10 of them have been killed, and there's been 14 of them on the field. I think that's what it means. Yeah, so the green like knight figure or like foot soldier figure shows how many of them were deployed at the start of the battle. So the main two units he's got are the Battanian clansman and the Battanian scout, the scout being cavalry obviously. He's got a few longbowmen and a few footmen. So the double arrow actually shows the amount of people that have retreated from the battle. The single sword shows how many people that unit has killed. And obviously we said earlier that the green soldier is the amount of people that have been deployed. You then have on the far right, you have the death icon, and then you have the amount of people injured, I think it is, which is the shield with the crack through it. And then I think the flag might be, I'm not sure what that is. That could be something to do with surrender, but that would also be retreating. So that could be something to do with maybe lords or like almost bannermen being killed that are in your party, possibly. Not entirely sure on that one. Also, I'd like to say there is a fast forward option in this menu, so you can actually fast forward the battle in case you die, which is quite a handy feature because you don't want to sit there for ages and just watch your troops die, especially if you know that they're going to lose the battle. You can get it over with and carry on playing. Lastly, this menu also comes up when you're on the campaign map and you're just simulating the battle, where one party fights the other party without you actually going in and fighting yourself. This is also a very good option if you know your army is way better than theirs and you know you're going to win, taking few casualties. But this menu also shows how many people have been deployed, etc. So you know whether you want to actually send yourself in and get involved and fight it yourself, or whether you can just simulate it. Anyway guys, that was the end of today's blog. There's not actually too much information in there, but it's nice to know that they've got a battle report that's actually decent, as well as it coming up before simulated battles, so you can actually see whether you want to simulate the battle or whether you want to go in and fight yourself. Anyway guys, we're going to be looking at some of the other blogs quickly, just to having overview of the information of the blogs that I haven't actually made videos on, just to add a bit more content to this video, so I'll do that now. One noticeable blog was the campaign map blog, which showed some towns on the campaign map, which looked absolutely amazing. Basically what they have done, they've been able to create the campaign map directly over the editor, so they are able to quickly and efficiently edit the map, so you don't have to change the coordinates of a town in text files, which was like really annoying to do. You can just do it within the editor, which is so much easier, and I think that's a good feature. And I think possibly one of the best things in Bannerlord, just the attention to detail that you can see they're putting to this game, is that the actual castle, in the way that it's designed and looks when you go and look at it with your character, is reflected on the campaign map, and it shows you kind of what defenses the castle has, whether or not you're going to be able to attack it, and also which siege weapons to use and what types of units to use, as well as just looking cool overall. I think that's one of the best features that I've seen in the blogs. Another feature I particularly liked was the actual cleaning up of the menus when accessing towns. You can now get the menu from the campaign map rather than having to go into a whole like full screen menu and then exiting that menu in order to get back onto the campaign map. I really like this change. It makes it a lot smoother. However, they have obviously added a lot of new features to the towns and what you can do in them. And they've made these directly accessible from the menu rather than having to go into the town and actually get a menu up from talking to someone, which makes it just a whole lot easier. Maybe it's cool to do 1 or 2 times, but once you've done it a few times, you probably want to be able to go into the menu and do it smoothly. For example, prisoners can be sold to the ransom broker directly through the menu, and players can access the crafting screen without needing to navigate their way to the local blacksmith, which just makes it a lot smoother and a lot easier for the player. Naturally, in Bannerlord, there's a lot more things you can do in the town, so they've organized the menu into sub-menus. So you click on, for example, the arena sub-menu, which then has another menu which will display something like join a tournament. This will be the same with the castle. When you click go to the castle, and then there might be the Lord's room or some other thing in the castle. I don't know, it could be the kitchen, for example. I don't know if they'll have the kitchen in there, but you get the gist of what I mean. Another thing I really like is that the lords are in the top right of this menu, allowing you to talk to them very easily without actually having to go into the castle. This just makes it a lot smoother for the player again, and I just like how they've done this interface, and it just shows a very good attention to detail. Another blog that was particularly notable was the overhaul to the recruitment system, where players can now recruit units from specific NPCs called notables. These notables are used instead of villages in Warband, where you'd go into the village and then as long as you have a good relation with that village, you could recruit people from it. I think the better the relationship with that village, the more people you could recruit. Whereas in this, you need to be able to have a good relation with the notables. These notables could be small lords that own a small number of fiefs, and you should be able to talk to them and then persuade them to let you recruit some villagers from those fiefs that you can get into your army so they can conquer Calradia. This may also tie into the minor faction or something like that, where you can talk to maybe minor faction leaders and persuade them to give you troops from their army. And these notable peoples are quite often going to be either maybe village elders possibly, or they're going to be lords most likely. This also means that higher tier troops, when you lose one of them through being killed in a battle, they're probably a lot easier to replace, because with these notables, you're going to be able to recruit higher level units rather than just going straight and losing your high level unit and having to upgrade from the base unit. Another major change is that the AI Lords will be recruiting in the same way as you. Now, this means that you'll be competing with these AI Lords in order to actually get these recruits. So you're going to need to do particular things that make these notables happier than your competing lord, which may be part of an enemy faction. Mercenaries and taking prisoners into your army as recruits is also still in the game, but this recruitment window is basically what it will look like. So you can see your notable characters and you can see the kind of troop that you can recruit from them, and I think how much it costs, which is quite cool, and you have a confirmation tick on the right. So yeah, that's one of my favorite blogs, I think, because of how different it is to Warband. One little thing I picked up from the horse dev blog was that you can actually have an equipment slot for that horse, allowing you to change the armor rather than having to buy a specific horse with specific armor, which I think is really cool. They're very separate. That's just one thing I wanted to note. But I think that's pretty much all of the blogs I wanted to talk about. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this Bannerlord blog update, but before you go, I'd like to say thank you for watching to this point of the video. I'd like you to watch the Hearts of Iron clip that I'm going to be putting at the end of this, so you can get a taste of the kind of videos that I'm putting out from that game, and please make sure you go ahead and watch them over, I think tomorrow or the day after. I'll have a Hearts of Iron video up. I also have a Warband video in the process. I also have a Warband video in the making, which will be to do with the new open world persistent kingdoms mod, which I was meant to make a video on ages ago, but I never did because of all my real life stuff. So I'll get on with that hopefully tonight. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed the video. It feels really good to be back, and I will see you in the next battle. I saw a comment that said Ironhawk orders a prostitute, and then she opens the door and it's just hello and welcome back.
You should have fucking liked that comment.
I did. I gave it a little love thing.
Oh shit. Aw, we're mining diamonds.
No.
Every fucking Minecraft.
Don't remind Hypnotic of Minecraft. He'll just start spewing random shit about it. Like, George, Hypnotic, you have to sing along.
It's Christmas Eve.
Oh, rip.
Oh no, boys! Oh my god!
Ironhawk, you need to hold that river. Arian, hold that river. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Ironhawk, pull your troops back. Ironhawk, pull your troops back.
Pull back to the river. You're gonna get encircled out.
No whisper target.
Pulling them back, boys. I'm pulling them back.
No,
I need troops to the south. I'm getting pushed in the south. I can't. Like in the south.
Oh, they're moving troops in there now.
What the fuck? They're beating them at the river.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Can you hold this Bulgarian? No, you can't.
Don't think so. No, probably not.
I don't want to fucking die in Albania is the problem.
Yeah. Oh.
What?
Oh, in fact, we are so fucking lucky. We are.
What happened?
Arian, are you alive again?
Wait, what just happened?
Yes, you're alive.
Well, they wait
Oh,
they wait
I want to pop here.
They wait